Jaya Shivata Jaya here from vitalcoaching.com. Killing an animal or cutting some vegetables in your garden, is it the same? What do you think? You know, it's when people are starting to move, go into vegan diets, plant-based diets. The question is this: is like, is it okay to actually chop vegetables? Isn't it the same as killing an animal? And the answer for me, and I'm just talking for myself, is that no, it's not the same. It's like if you give me a rabbit and I have to cut that rabbit's throat, or go to my garden and chop some kale, it's going to be probably 100 times easier for me to chop some kale. I don't ever remember taking a knife and killing an animal in my entire life. And I've been chopping lots of vegetables and I don't feel necessarily bad about it. So why not? My conscience is telling me it's okay. It's instinctual. It's like my conscience is telling me that it's okay. It's like my common sense is telling me that it's okay. It's like, why? Because I don't feel the same depth of emotional resonance with a little rabbit than I have with a kale. I have emotional resonance with the planet as a whole, with life force as a whole. Yes, definitely. But in that very specific situation, is like, in my scale, in my consciousness, it is okay. This action of cutting some kale is okay. This action of killing a rabbit is not okay. Why? You know, again, it's like the emotional vibration that I feel is like somehow my life force is linked on a deeper level because there is an emotional resonance with the rabbit, and that emotional resonance is not present to the same extent or to the same depth with that piece of kale. Okay, everything that I'm saying here, you might disagree, you might have a different opinion, but try it out, really. Confront yourself with the possibility, and then you think, why? And another thing that comes to mind is because there is a difference in the hierarchy of value of different life forms. The way we value different life forms, there is a scale in our mind. For instance, chopping a very old tree is very different than walking through your garden and walking on some grass and killing a piece of grass. Why? Because there is a hierarchy in the value that we attribute to those different life forms. Can you see that? I mean, let's take another, it's like, it's common sense. It's something that from within, you can enter into a rational discussion about it, and the rational discussion goes like this. It goes like, all living forms have a value. A piece of grass is as magnificent as a huge tree. And this is true on a certain level. It is true on a certain level. And within the hierarchy of our conditioning as human race, we have a different scale. We are right now developing a new scale of perception of life in our consciousness or in our conscience. And this is why, right now the world, a big part of the world is moving into vegan diets, because we are no longer okay with being cruel to animals. So the hierarchy or the value that we are right now attributing to a cow or to a pig is increasing in the general consciousness, in the collective consciousness of this planet, in the consciousness of humankind. So why is this happening? Is because right now we are undergoing an upgrade as a human race. There is something there that is shifting. And so, the environmental concern, the desire to take care of nature, the desire to respect the environment, the desire to protect the forest and so on. There are lots of things that we were doing like 50 or 100 years ago that we consider they are no longer okay as a collective. So we are evolving towards those new values. And in the process of doing that, there is a shifting in the hierarchy or the way we relate to nature as a whole. Okay? And so, again, to come back to this question, is killing a rabbit the same as killing a piece of kale? in my scale is absolutely not. It's not the same. I don't experience it as the same experience. And, try to take your dog to a public place and cut your dog's throat in front of everybody. There will be an outrage. People, the collective is going to respond to that. Whereas try to go to your garden and cut a piece of kale in your garden. Who is going to be outraged? Nobody is going to post, try to character assassinate you or public shame you for that. Whereas try to inflict cruelty on a dog, even if you need that meat for survival, it's not going to be okay. You might go to jail, you might pay a fine, there might be a public outrage around that. And there is a reason why it's like that. And the reason is because there is a difference in the hierarchy of value that we give to that specific plant compared with the pet that we love. Okay? This is the way it works. This is the way our conscience works. And it's common sense. And if you are looking for an answer about that, think about that. If you start rationalizing it in your brain, then eventually you might enter into this conflict zone where all living forms matter. So why is there a difference? It's because we are functioning with a program that tells us, our conscience, which is like this subtle guiding system, intuitive guiding system inside of us, tells us that it's not the same. Okay? I hope this makes sense. It's an ongoing conversation. You are free to disagree with absolutely everything that I'm saying here, of course. Post in the comments. Let me know what you think. I love you. See you soon.